So, I am finally in the Halloween mood. I just fully finished this piece that I stitched by Luminous Fiber Arts. It's part of a chart, boo. And I put out my Biscornu by Curious Carrie Designs. And I'm about to put on these cozy Halloween socks. It's time for a Halloween Startathon. Hi everyone, this is Melissa. I go by Stitching Liz here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. It would mean so much to me if you would follow me in both places and leave comments and subscribe and all those good things. It means so much to me. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. Thank you so much for joining me. As you just heard, we are doing a Halloween Startathon. It's only a few days away, but I finally got in the Halloween mood and I want to stitch some Halloween things. And I have a few charts that I'm going to randomly choose between by picking the name out of a jack-o'-lantern bucket and see what I'm gonna stitch today. I'm gonna do 3 starts and spend about an hour on each start and see how far I can get. So let me show you the charts that are up for grabs today. They are in this spooky bag. I don't know if you can see, but the characters are skeletons. It's so spooky. This bag was made by Emily C. Eclectic Possessions. It's a Momily bag. She used to make bags and they are gorgeous. If she ever makes them again, I highly recommend that you get your hands on one if you can. So inside of here are the charts that I'm considering for the Halloween Startathon. Let me show you what I've got. So the biggest chart that I'm considering is this Barbara Anna Designs October 31st. I love this one. I love the cat. I like that it looks a little primitive. I would be excited to get this one. So that's the first one. Okay, let's show you. I have this Mill Hill kit called Taboo Kitty, part of their Autumn Harvest collection. So this one has all of the materials for it. So that's one of the items I'm considering. I have this chart by Heart and Hand called Halloween Frill. It's fairly small with the witch in the house and the ghost, but I really like it. I think it's really neat. So there's that one. There's this Lizzie Kate chart, Little Boo. You can't see it, but there's a little tiny charm on the end of the cat's tail that came with this chart. And I love the colors of this one. I have this Annie B's Folk Art chart, Gathering Pumpkins. This isn't quite totally Halloween-y. I mean, the pumpkins part is Halloween, but it's also very autumny. So this would last me until definitely Thanksgiving. I've also done the 2 other charts in this series, the Gathering Strawberries and the Gathering Holly. So it would be great to get this one so I could finish the series off. I have this chart by Fairy Wool in the Wood, Memento Mori. I love how this is spooky but blue. I don't know what about that is so different and appealing to me, but I like that. And I have this Pineberry Lane chart called Autumn Blessings. Now this is the main part of the chart, this witch. But there's also 2 side pieces, Apples and Cider and Gourds and Jacks. I like them all. I think I would start with this one, but I do like the idea of doing them all. So there's that one. And the last one I'm considering is this Teresa Kogut called Ghoul Friends. This one is a little scary because there's a lot of stitching in this one, but it's so cute. So those are the charts that I am considering to do for the Startathon. So are you ready to find out what I'm gonna do first? I have my Halloween bucket. This is what I usually put my Halloween candy in for the day of Halloween. And inside there are the names of the charts written on pieces of paper. And I'm going to just mix them up and pick one to start with. Okay, let's see. I'm going to show it to you. Gathering pumpkins. So we're going to start with gathering pumpkins. So now what I have to do is I'm going to be kitting these all up from stash. So I have to go through the chart and pick some colors and some fabric, and then I'm going to get started stitching, and I'm going to stitch for about an hour on this one. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay, so this is Gathering Pumpkins, my first start in the Startathon. Again, that's by Annie B's Folk Art. And this is what I've decided to do. These are the threads I've pulled. I just chose colors that sort of replicated the colors on the cover picture. And then the fabric is a 16 count Aida that I got from Rebel Stitcher from her shop. It was a dyer that I'd never heard of before, so I don't remember, and there was no label on it, but I do know it's a 16 count. And there's a little bit of modeling to it. So I'm gonna get started. Let's see how this goes. Okay, we're back to the bucket. It's time to find out what I'm going to be stitching second in this Halloween Startathon. So we're going to mix it up and pick out, let's see what it's going to be. Memento Mory! That's the fairy wool in the wood. All right, so we're going to kit that up and get started working on that one. Okay, so this is the second start for the Halloween Startathon. This is Momento Mory by Fairy Wool in the Wood. This is what it looks like. And this is what I picked for colors. Some of them I actually had the called for color, but many of them I just chose a look-alike shade of the color that was called for. And it's a gray 16 count fabric that had no label on it in my stash, but I really like the way the blues and the golds looked with it, so I went with the gray, even though on the cover you can see it's a very yellowy fabric. So let's get started with this one. One last time with the bucket, and this time you get to see that the handle lights up. Look at that, it's so exciting. This is so exciting. We're gonna pick the third start in my Halloween Startathon. So let's mix it up and see what we get. All right, I'm not looking, I'm showing you first. A Little Boo. That's the Lizzie Kate. All right, so we're gonna kit that up and stitch some stitches. All right, and the final third start in our Halloween Startathon is A Little Boo by Lizzie Kate. So this is what I did for the threads and the fabric. The fabric is 16 count brick by Fiber on a Whim. I actually had a label on this one. It is showing a browner than it is. In real life, it's actually a little more rusty orange. So it really goes well with all of the colors and mimics the color in the chart quite well. So I'm gonna get started on this one and see what I can do. Okay, so it's the end of the Halloween Startathon. It's the end of the day. I've put about an hour into each of the projects, and I'm gonna show you where I got. So my first project again was gathering pumpkins, and I worked on, I'm a middle starter, so I started on this bowl, vase, urn, and this is what it looks like. So I got all of the urn done, and a little bit of a vine started and 2 leaves. So that's gathering pumpkins. My second project was Memento Mory, and I worked on the skull, and this is where I got. So I got all of the skull done, all of the white of the skull done. And then my last project was A Little Boo, and I worked on these 2 frames for the 2 O's, and this is where I got the 2 frames done. So I had so much fun starting my Halloween projects, and I'm so glad you came along with me for this Startathon. I'm going to keep working on some of these for the next couple of weekends and into the rest of the fall. So you may see them in my monthly update and see what kind of progress I made. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.